The electoral contest is advancing today, 7th of November 2021 in Nicaragua. The voting center has have opened there at 7 a.m. when we can see the influx of people exercising their right to vote. Welcome to another coverage of JP Mass. Follow us on our social platforms,
We continue
digital
this
platforms.
special transmission of the electoral election in Nicaragua. 4.4 millions of citizens are up to vote, and they will choose the authorities of Nicaragua for this period 2022-2026. We go to the how people, Nicaraguan people, have come up of their houses, accomplished with the street protocol and the voting centers.
Yes, remember that we are in the context of the COVID-19, and so the Nicaraguan Ministry of Health approved a protocol for the people so they have no problems to participate in this electoral process. Remember that in these elections are being elected the presidency, vice president,
Exactly.
deputies.
Well, we have to appoint that this election have a particular characteristic, and we have the denominated 50-50 equity of gender. And at this moment, in these elections, we have different formulas of the different parties, and they keep this equity of gender. Well, we are having information, and last minute we can see the candidate of the Sandinist Front of Liberation, National Liberation, are arriving to the voting center, accompany each other. Okay, they are coming forward like any other citizen are doing countryside. They are coming to exercise their vote.
That is correct. Remember that Daniel Ortega was born in La Libertad, Chontales. He is the leader of the Sandinista National Liberation Front. He was this party started in 1961 uh, and was initiated to overthrow the Somocista dictatorship. In 2016, Daniel Ortega won the electoral contest with more than 70% of the votes. Right now, we can see how he's giving out his ID to the president of this polling station board. He passes to the first member to verify that he is in the electoral roll.
This is part of the process that is accomplished. All the citizens have done this during the day. The protocol of biosecurity or bio. Okay, they have to reach their name in the register roll. We can see both the president and the vice president in this formula, who she also has stand out one of the most
That it's
important
correct. We can see
ladies
as
in this
well that the
country.
president Daniel Ortega signed, and he found him, and then the president, as the first member, signed the ballot, which is an important step.
Unique ballot. In fact, this is a unique ballot, and this facilitates the process. It makes the process more agile and quickly. In one ballot, there are all the candidates for president and vice presidents, candidate for the National Assembly, and this makes for all the citizens the exercise to cast their vote in an easy way without any complication. And this has also helped in this context of the COVID-19 Okay, we don't have any crowded places during these elections. This morning, during the coverage, we say that part of the protocol, okay, part of the protocol is to have just one person inside of the voting center to avoid any crowded places.
That is correct. So now we can see how the vice president, it's been explained about the proceedings and the protocols of how she has to exercise her right to vote and the way she has to fold this electoral ballot and the lines which are
There
security
were
code.
a number of things that the Electoral Council pay attention to this issue of the ballots. There is a security code that permits to be very authentic. Now we can see the candidate of the National Front is casting his vote to the box. This is part of the process that we are living during the morning. Also, the members of the Electoral Council attended their respective
Yes, that is
voting
correct. The
centers.
indelible ink, which is a non-toxic ink. Actually, the Supreme Electoral Council make many tests of this ink with many of the political parties participating. One of the characteristics of this ink is that it's not toxic. It doesn't make any kind of harms to the skin. It's resistant to gasoline, soap, or any
Exactly.
other products.
Well, this is part of this process. We have to stand out that during the last election in 2016, okay, it represented the 68% of Nicaraguan people voting. Now we can see both candidates raising their thumbs in order to show that they already casted their votes.
That is correct. We have seen one important fact, which is the high participation that characterizes the Nicaraguan people in the participation of the elections. For instance, in 2016 was a 68.2% of participation of the citizens, and years before the rate was over the 60%. And taking into account that the voting in Nicaragua is not it's not a must by the law.
And taking account this data that you just mentioned, even though that the vote is not mandatory, the population is coming to the voting centers and they are leaving this civil test. The invitation, the convocatory started in May of this year when it was known about the whole electoral process. Well, now we continue with this special transmission. There are 6 formulas who are participating for presidency, vice presidency, deputies before the National Assembly and before the Parliament. Well, we also want to know who are the rest of the candidates.
Occupying box 1, Walter Espinosa is the presidential candidate of the Constitutionalist Liberal Party, who in recent years has served as a deputy, as councillor for Managua, the capital of Nicaragua. In box 2, José Daniel Ortega is outlined, who was born in La Libertad, Chontales. He's the leader of the Sandinista National Liberation Front, FSLN party. In the 2016 general elections, he won with more than 72% of the votes. And according to recent polls, for these elections, he leads the vote intention and political sympathy. We have Guillermo Antonio Osorno is the candidate of the Nicaraguan Christian Path Party, a party founded in 1995. Osorno is a reverend of the Evangelical Church. Marcelo Montiel is a lawyer and notary public. He is currently leading the candidate of the Nicaraguan Liberal Alliance Party, LAN, which was founded in 2006. In the box of Alliance for the Republic Party, APRE, is Gerson Gutierrez Gasparin, master's degree in criminal law, born in Matagalpa. As the candidate of the Independent Liberal Party, PLI, Mauricio Orue Vázquez appears, who was also born in Matagalpa and studied theology.
Thank you very much, Mandy, for that information about who are the ones who are going to participate in this electoral contest. But what are the requirements that they have to meet according to the Nicaraguan laws? Okay, in order to be president or vice president, or even the requirements for all the positions on this process.
Well, exactly, we have requisite very specific that they are part of the standard. Among these, above all, they have to be citizens, Nicaraguan citizens, and who has acquired another nationality must have renounced it at least 4 years before the election that is taking place. In addition, they must be in full enjoyment of their civil and political rights, have reached 25 years of age, you have reside continuously in the country at least 4 years prior to the election, unless they are on a diplomatic admission, work in an international organization, or study abroad.
That is correct. Well, all these candidates have to be accomplished all these requirements. Remember that there was a electoral calendar in which the political parties had to propose their candidates, so they go through a revision process. And the suffrage process in Nicaragua is based on the political constitution and the law 331, which is in which it is stipulated all the requirements that the Nicaraguan citizens have to accomplish in order to run as president or
Yes,
vice
this
president.
morning, as part of the electoral process in Nicaragua, several public personalities attending their voting center, and also the magistrates of the electoral council, and exactly the lady president of the electoral council attended her voting center to accomplish with her right to exercise the right to the vote. Now we have more information. Go ahead.
JP Mas journalists are broadcasting the elections in Nicaragua. Since early morning, the process of elections have started in the whole Central American region. We're going to have, we can see some people. Well, the president, we're going to broadcast to cover. We can see the presence of Brenda Rocha, of the Electoral Council from this Central American country. We see the environment that different medias from different countries covering these elections from the Central American country. And we can see Brenda Rocha, who is the president of the Electoral Council in Nicaragua. She is exercising her right to the vote, and where all the citizens from Nicaragua are attending this voting center. They are with all the members of the Electoral Council, and we can see a lot of medias. We can see that she is going to speak, and she is going to exercise her right to the vote. The president of the Electoral Council, Brenda Rocha, just about to get the suffrage, the electoral suffrage of this country. So Nicaragua is living historical elections, and this nation is with 4.4 million of citizens who are going to take their votes. So the president of the Electoral Council is exercising her right to the vote in this Central American country, 2021. This is the environment in Nicaragua, and she is exercising her vote. The president of the Electoral Council, Brenda Rocha. She's about to get to her voting center, and she needs to verify where she can vote. So this is a historical process.
Okay, we had the moment that the magistrate lady Brenda Rocha exercising her suffrage. Let's take this communication, but before we have to make a link to the another point of the capital with exactly the president of Nicaragua will have a message to the Nicaraguan people at this moment of the electoral civic election.
Dear Nicaraguan brothers, dear families, Nicaraguan families, we have sang our national hymn that remember us and compromise us with those paragraphs in which we said and sworn
ni se tiña con sangre de hermanos, ni se tiña con sangre de hermanos, nuestro glorioso perdón bicolor. Que no se vuelva a teñir.
No more, okay, no more blood with our brothers that never shed our country with brother shed, with brother blood.
Y ahí está el voto.
And here we have the vote.
El voto.
The vote.
El voto no mata a
The
nadie.
vote doesn't kill anybody.
El voto no causa herida alguna en ninguna
The
persona.
vote doesn't cause any wound in any person.
El voto no llama al terrorismo, a la
The
guerra.
vote doesn't
jamás.
call on to the murder.
El voto no llama a hacer tranques
The vote doesn't call on to make
y que se paralice la economía
and paralyze the economy
y que se destruyan las familias.
and family
El voto no
be
llama
destroyed.
a torturar.
The vote doesn't call on to torture.
Públicamente torturar.
Public torture.
No podemos olvidar,
We can't forget.
después de tantos años de paz,
After many
no
years
podemos
of
olvidar
peace, we cannot
a
forget
quienes
who
sembraron el terror,
saw the terror,
no respetaron nuestro himno
who never respect our anthem,
y se jactaban
and they
filmando la
boasted
destrucción,
filming the destruction,
filmando los
filming the
asesinatos,
murders,
defendiendo los
defending
tranques
the
públicamente.
publicly.
No tenían vergüenza alguna, de
They-
ni dignidad alguna, ni amor a las familias y a la
They
patria.
didn't have love for families and for their country.
Torturando
They torture
a jóvenes,
young people,
mujeres,
women,
compañeros, a
to
ciudadanos
many
nicaragüenses,
companions, Nicaraguan,
y luego rociándolos
and then
de combustible,
spraying them with fuel,
desnudándolos,
making them,
azotándolos
splashing them,
y por último
and finally
el fuego.
burning them
Quemándolos.
alive.
Todos lo vimos,
All we saw this,
todos lo vimos,
we saw
todos lo vivimos.
everybody lived this,
Y logramos
and we
poner
achieve
fin al terrorismo
to
y
put
restablecer
an
la
end
paz
to the terrorism and reestablish the peace
y estabilizar,
and establish
y no solamente estabilizar,
not
sino
only establish but also
bueno, avanzar
advance
en lo que es el bienestar,
in
el
the
progreso de
well-being
las familias
of the
nicaragüenses.
Nicaraguan citizen.
¿Qué es lo que quiere nuestro pueblo?
That's what our people
¿Qué es lo
want.
que desea la humanidad?
That's what our
La
humanity
humanidad no
wants.
quiere guerra, no quiere
Humanity
sangre,
doesn't
quiere
want
paz,
war,
quiere progreso,
wants
quiere
peace,
bienestar.
wants well-being.
Y tenemos una ley, tenemos una
And we have a
constitución
law, we have a constitution
que establece
which establishes
la forma
the way
de elegir
of choosing authorities,
tanto autoridades nacionales
national authorities
como autoridades departamentales
as departmental authorities as well,
como autoridades regionales,
like regional
el
authorities,
sistema del régimen de autonomía que tiene la costa del
like
Caribe,
in the regions, regions,
un
the
régimen
autonomous region which have it
toda
in Nicaragua that is unique,
América Latina y el Caribe.
not only in Nicaragua but also in all Latin America.
Cada determinado periodo eligen sus autoridades. Eligen
And
sus
they
congresistas, sus
also
representantes
choose their representative, their
su
authority
asamblea
for their assembly.
regional. En la región autónoma del
In
Atlántico
the
Norte y en la
autonomous
región
region of the
autónoma del
Atlantic
Caribe Sur.
North and the South
Caribe
Caribbean,
Norte, Caribe Sur.
Caribbean,
Y
Caribbean.
este
was
día,
seen. And this day,
desafiando a los que promueven el terrorismo,
This
financian el terrorismo,
defying
financian la guerra,
to those who finance
a
the
los que
war,
sembraron el
those
terror,
who
la
saw
muerte, la destrucción
the
de la
murder,
economía,
the destruction of the
destrucción de
economy,
centros de salud,
the destruction of health
destrucción de
centers,
escuelas,
of schools,
que seguían conspirando y siguen
and
conspirando.
they continue plotting.
Esos no quieren la paz.
Those don't want the peace.
Esos son sembradores de muerte,
Those are
sembradores de
sowers
odio,
of death, of hate,
sembradores
sowers
de terror.
of terror.
Aunque se vistan como se vistan,
Even whatever
demonios,
the way that they were, they are devils.
que no quieren paz,
They
quieren
don't want
tranquilidad
peace.
para
They
nuestro
don't
país.
want peace, tranquility for
Y
the
que
people.
optan
And they
por la
opt
violencia, por
for
la
the
guerra,
violence,
por la
for the war,
descalificación,
for
por
the
la calumnia,
disqualification, and
por las
for the
campañas. ¿Para qué?
what for?
Porque
To
Nicaragua se ve envuelto de nuevo
Nicaragua was involved in
enfrentamientos violentos,
confrontations, violent confrontations,
en guerra.
in wars.
Aquella guerra
Those wars
que se han vivido a lo largo de
that
la
we have
historia,
lived through
terrible
the
guerra.
history, terrible wars.
Las guerras no dejan
The,
escuelas,
the wars don't leave school.
las guerras no construyen,
The wars don't
hospitales.
build
las
hospital.
guerras no construyen carreteras,
The wars don't
no
build
construyen caminos,
roads,
no construyen
ways.
viviendas.
They don't build housing.
Las guerras paralizan la actividad
Wars
productiva en el
paralyzes
sector
all the
agropecuario,
economic activity.
paralizan la
They
economía.
paralyzes the economy.
Y no vayamos muy lejos, abril
And
del 2010,
don't go too long. In April 2018, is still
lo que
fresh
significa una
what
guerra, violencia,
means a war of violence,
la
terror.
economía paralizada.
The economy was paralyzed.
No solamente están afectando la
And not
economía
only were
nicaragüense,
affecting the
sino que
economy,
están toda la
but also
economía
were affecting
de la
the
región
Central
centroamericana y más
American
allá
region
mesoamericana,
and further the South American economy
porque cerraron el
because
tráfico
they closed
internacional
the international traffic
y se dedicaron a
and they
asesinar, a
dedicated
matar,
to kill
a los tranques, a
in the
torturar,
roadblocks,
a los tranques.
to torture in the roadblocks.
¿Quién podía ir
Who,
con tranquilidad al trabajo,
who
a la
could
escuela en
go
esos días terribles?
to the job, the school in those terrible days?
Fueron días de horror
There were days of terror.
y por eso es que es tan importante
And that's why it's very important to confirm
lo que decimos todos
what
y en
we
lo
all
que
say,
comprometemos la
and we
inmensa
all
mayoría de los
compromise the
nicaragüenses
majority of
cuando
Nicaraguan people when
entonamos nuestro
we recite our national
dice, "Tiña
anthem
con sangre de
and we
hermanos
say,
tu glorioso
never
pendón de
shay with brother's
dolor". Y se lo
blood,
decimos
and
a
we
los
say,
que promueven y
eat
alimentan
to those who promote
esta guerra,
these wars,
estos actos de
these
terrorismo.
terrorist acts.
Ellos, ellos, si hay un acto que califican de terrorismo en sus países,
If if there is an act
exactamente,
that is cataloged like a terrorist act,
van
they immediately go
y hasta
capture,
la pena de muerte
and even
le aplican.
the death penalty is applied to them.
Precisamente para estos días,
Precisely for these days,
en las últimas elecciones en los Estados
in
Unidos,
the last American elections,
hubieron acusaciones de fraude
there were accusations of fraud
de uno de los partidos
from one of the parties,
y se produjo un hecho de violencia.
and act of violence was
y se fueron.
done, and they
Una
went
cantidad
a good
de
amount of
simpatizantes militantes de ese
supporters
partido
and militants of these parties
a tomarse el
to
Congreso
take
de los
the
Estados
Congress of
Unidos.
the United States.
Ahí están repitiendo en la misma televisión norteamericana, están repitiendo en estos
Even
días
in the American television, they are repeating these days
esos hechos.
these acts
Cuando va a entrar
when
la gente
people are taking over the
al
Congress.
y van huyendo
And then they
los
were
diputados, los senadores
escaping the
y el
senators
mismo vicepresidente de la República
and the
entonces,
same vice president of the
que
Republic,
estaba al frente del
but
Congreso.
that time in front of the Congress, where
Y hubieron muertos
there were
y
murders.
ahora están los procesos, están los juicios.
And now
Y ya tienen un buen tiempo
there are the
detenidos.
trials,
Ya tienen un año por lo menos de estar detenidos, de
and
estar
they
presos.
at least have 1 year
Una
to be in
cantidad de
jail.
gente de
An
estos que
amount
participaron
of people
en esos
participating in
actos
this
de
act
terrorismo.
of terrorism.
Así lo calificaron en los Estados Unidos.
That was the
Actos de
way it
terrorismo.
was qualified in the
Que
United
no
States,
tienen nada que ver
and
con los
these
actos de terrorismo que
have nothing to
financiaron
do
aquí en
with the
nuestro país en abril del año
terrorist act
2018.
they financed in
¿Qué
2018.
De
No
los que
way.
entraron al Congreso también hubieran bloqueado las carreteras en los Estados Unidos.
Imagine
hubieran
if those
paralizado
taking
la economía
over
en
the
los Estados
Congress,
Unidos.
okay, there were
Le hubieran
paralyzed
lanzado
the
al
roads.
ejército, les hubieran
So
lanzado los tanques, les hubieran lanzado la aviación.
the government will throw the army to the streets
A matar,
to shut down, to kill.
pero bueno, ese hecho
But that fact,
que las mismas leyes norteamericanas califican de
that the
terrorismo,
same American laws
Tienen
qualified
prisión.
of terrorism, they have
a una cantidad de
prisoners,
ciudadanos norteamericanos,
American citizens,
simpatizantes,
supporters,
miembros del otro partido
members of the other party,
y que participaron
and who
en
participated
esas protestas.
in
Y
those
tienen
protests.
también
And also they have
abriéndole proceso
opening a process
al que era presidente de los Estados
who
Unidos,
was
al cual acusan
president
de
of the
haber
United
promovido
States for promoting
esas acciones
these
terroristas.
terrorist acts,
Mientras ellos
while
aquí han alimentado, han financiado,
the
promovido
government have financed and promoted
a través
through
de los que
those
viven de rodillas ante
who
ellos,
are on their knees before them,
de los que no tienen patria aquí en Nicaragua,
those who don't have
ya
country in
le
this,
vendieron el alma,
who have sold their soul to the empire.
viven de rodillas pidiendo
They live on their
las
knees
elecciones contra Nicaragua.
asking for
Bueno, allá en Estados Unidos
sanctions
está
against
abierto ese
Nicaragua.
proceso.
There in America, this process is open.
Y tanto derecho tienen ellos para abrir procesos contra los terroristas como derecho tenemos los nicaragüenses
We have equal
para
right
abrir
to
procesos
open
contra
process
los
against
terroristas
terrorists
y defender la paz. Porque
and
están
defend the peace, because they are
porque no querían
conspiring,
que se realizaran
they are
estas
plotting,
elecciones
because they didn't
que
want
se han realizado el día de hoy.
that elections in Nicaragua were held as today.
Por lo tanto, estas elecciones que
So these
se
elections,
están votando el día de hoy,
people voting today,
nosotros venimos de votar en estos
we
momentos,
just exercise our vote.
son, gracias a Dios,
These elections are, thanks God,
una señal, un
a
compromiso
sign of
de la
compromise
inmensa
of
mayoría
the
de los
immense
nicaragüenses
majority
de votar por la paz.
of Nicaraguan
y no
to
por
vote
la
for
guerra,
peace
y no
and
por
not
el
for
terrorismo.
war, not for terrorism.
Desde el año 1984
since 1984
hasta esta fecha
until this date
se han realizado en nuestro país
have been done in our country,
un total de 49
a
elecciones.
total of 49 elections.
¿Por qué? Porque aquí tenemos
Why?
que elegir presidente y vicepresidente.
Because we have this model.
Elegimos
We
también
elect
diputados nacionales
president
y
and vice
diputados
president.
departamentales.
We elect deputy
Elegimos diputados al
departamental.
Parlamento Centroamericano.
We elect
Esto lo hacemos.
deputy for the parliament,
Son procesos electorales.
because these are electoral process
Como este de hoy.
like today's.
Ahí estamos.
There we are.
Aquí estamos haciendo una elección
There we are
en 4
making an election in four
presidencia y vicepresidencia,
ambits:
diputados nacionales,
president and vice president,
diputados
national
departamentales
deputies, department,
y diputados al Parlamento Centroamericano.
and deputy for the Central American Parliament.
Luego
Then
tenemos elecciones municipales
we have municipality elections,
donde elegimos alcalde,
where we choose
vicealcalde y
el- the mayor
los
and
consejeros
vice mayor
municipales.
and the
Ahí mismo tenemos
municipalities councils.
que los nicaragüenses, las familias
Nicaraguan
que tengan edad
family,
de votar
members of the family, Nicaraguan
en
family.
municipio tienen la oportunidad de elegir
In each municipality, they have the opportunity to
y
elect
luego también elegir
mayor and vice mayor, and also
compañeras que son del consejo municipal
the
que
members
tienen
of the
una primera
council,
autoridad
who are also a first
para
authority,
poder aprobar.
because the mayorship, in order
Tiene
to
que pasar
approve
por
something,
consejo municipal.
has to go through the
Son
municipalities
equilibrio.
councils.
Igualmente en lo que es la presidencia, la vicepresidencia,
The same way, the presidency and the vice
propone
presidency.
algo, o viene una iniciativa
If there is a propose,
de algún sector, esto tiene que ir
Yeah.
a la Asamblea Nacional.
if there is a purpose of any sector, it has to go through the
Ya,
National Assembly.
obligación de la Asamblea.
This is a
aprobar,
duty
discutir.
to National Assembly to approve this
Hemos
project.
tenido
We have had
estas elecciones que les mencionaba,
this election that I just mentioned,
donde
where
se eligen 45 consejeros
45
regionales en la región autónoma del Caribe
just
Norte,
in the autonomous regions of the Caribbean North, and another
compañeros
45
hermanos en la región autónoma
in the autonomous
de la
regions
costa Caribe Sur.
of the Caribbean South Coast.
Fíjense cuántas elecciones.
Pay attention.
En
How many elections?
1984,
In 1984,
en 1990,
in 1990,
en 1994,
in 1994,
para las elecciones de la costa Caribe Norte.
for
Caribe
the
Sur.
election in the North Caribbean.
En el 96,
In
elecciones
1996, national elections,
nacionales. Y ahí vamos.
and
Un
that's where we
recorrido
go.
de elecciones. En 1998, en el 2000, en el 2001,
In 2000,
en
in
2002.
2001.
¿Por qué? Porque vamos
Why?
eligiendo
Because we are electing, we are choosing.
desde lo que son las autoridades nacionales, como lo estamos haciendo
Since
el día de
the
hoy,
national authorities
hasta lo que son las autoridades
through the
municipales
municipality authorities too.
y las autoridades de las regiones autónomas del Caribe Norte y el
And
Caribe
then
Sur.
authority of the autonomous regions. This
Nos da un total,
give us a total,
fíjense,
pay attention,
que en todos estos procesos electorales
in all this electoral
Desde
process
1984
since
hasta la
1984
fecha.
so far,
se han desarrollado en nuestro país
49 elections has been held in total.
49 elecciones,
49
desde
elections
nacionales hasta elecciones municipales,
since national
elecciones regionales,
election through
elecciones de concejales, etcétera, etcétera.
municipality elections,
49 elecciones.
49 elections.
Este es un país que vive inmerso
This
en
is a
procesos
country
electorales.
which lives immersed in electoral
Le damos
process.
una gran
So we
importancia, un
give
gran
a lot
valor
of importance, a great
a lo
value
que es el voto.
to what is the vote,
Porque, como les decía,
because as I say,
el voto
the vote
no llama a
doesn't
la
call to the
guerra, el
war,
voto no llama al terrorismo,
doesn't call
el
on
voto no
the
llama a la
terror,
destrucción,
the destruction.
el voto llama a la
The
paz.
vote calls
A la
to the
paz.
peace. Yeah.
Y
And
el próximo año,
next year,
2022,
2022,
ya tendremos otra elección más.
another election is going to be
El 6
held
de noviembre del año 2022 tendremos otra elección más.
November 6, 2022. We are going to have one more election. And with this, 50 election has been held so far. This election will be for mayors and vice mayors in the in the 153 municipalities of the country. And then on March 5, 2023, the election continues, and those elections will be the number 51 election of the council, regional councils in the North and Caribbean south of Nicaragua, because they had the regime of autonomy. Is to say that we have an index and so far a compromise, a behavior with our constitution that demands to hold these elections, where the powerful weapon that our people carry, brothers, that you say hold, where you can choose for whatever of the candidates that are participating in these elections, inclusive one of these parties has been in the government, the power. In 1990, because it was in alliance. After, in 1996, they were alone, and they reached the government, and they were in the government and accomplished their period. It doesn't occur to us to overthrow them. And then this same party went to election of 2021, and they also reached the presidency. No matter what kind of discussions there might be about the lack of equity, of the perfection of the electoral system, well, they were in the presidency. They were in the presidency during the 3 periods, consecutive periods. And then new elections in 2006. And then the people took the decision. And then a period of peace and tranquility, of understanding, of alliances, a big alliance, national alliance, that gave the country stability, logically, with economical conditions, social conditions, productive conditions. But of course, that was not of
de los que no tienen patria en Nicaragua.
good for those who don't have country,
Vino
and came
intento de golpe
the
terrorista
intent
del 2018.
of terrorist cop of 2018,
Y ya pensaban ellos que
and they thought that
de esa manera iban a
that
tomar
way
el poder.
they will take the power.
Y luego
And then
se restableció el orden,
the order was established,
se restableció la estabilidad
stability
en todos los
was
campos,
established in all the
económico,
economical
social,
fields,
político,
economical, social, political,
y la economía
and the economy
se logró recuperar
was
también.
recovered also,
Gracias a la paz.
thanks to peace.
Fíjense bien y escuchen
Pay
bien, hermanos
attention and
nicaragüenses.
listen to it very well.
Gracias a la
Thanks
paz.
to peace, to the peace,
Gracias a la paz.
thanks to the peace.
Que abrió las
That
puertas
opens
a
doors to different
emprendimientos,
entrepreneurships
iniciativas,
and
capacitaciones, ¿para qué? Para que
and
la
training
economía pudiese desarrollarse
for the
más y
economy
mejor.
to be developed
Que permitió
better,
que se construyeran
and it permitted
hospitales y puestos de salud después
to
que los
build
terroristas
hospital
habían destruido
after
hospitales y puestos de
terrorists
salud.
destroyed them.
Que permitió
It permitted
reconstruir
rebuild
centros de estudio y universidades que habían sido
School,
incendiados,
university.
destruidos por los terroristas.
burned by them.
Que permitió
That permitted
que en el campo de la salud
that in the health field
lográsemos contar ya con
could achieve
las bases fundamentales
the fundamental
para poder
basis
enfrentar
to confront
la pandemia que
the
luego ha
COVID
afectado al
pandemic
mundo.
that affected the world.
Es decir, cuando se construían hospitales,
To say
puestos de
that
salud,
when
etcétera,
hospital, health centers
nadie
were
se
built,
imaginaba que iba a venir esta pandemia.
nobody thought that this
Eso le dio a
pandemic was
Nicaragua,
approaching.
Ya un recurso
That's why
poderoso
Nicaragua had a
para poder atender a la
powerful
población
resource
y
to
poder
attend
enfrentar
the population and to confront the pandemic.
incluso
Even
que el
the
sistema de
health
salud
system was
acompañado
accompanied
de
by
miles de nicaragüenses
thousands of Nicaraguans
yendo casa por casa,
going house by house
pues, trasladando
and
información para enfrentar la pandemia,
giving information to confront the
medidas para
pandemic,
enfrentar la pandemia
measures to confront the pandemic,
y acompañamiento para
and a companionship
atender
to
rápidamente
attend
aquellos casos que
those
se detectaban
cases
y se detectan
rapidly,
con el virus
okay, those cases,
y luego
and then
la vacunación que
this
luego
vaccination that
que teníamos enormes dificultades
before we had
contar con vacunas,
enormous difficulties to get the vaccines,
finalmente logramos,
finally we could
cooperación
international cooperation,
y ahí reconocemos que la cooperación
and
internacional
we recognize that international cooperation
se ha dado
has given
más allá de lo que son
far beyond
las posiciones ideológicas y
the
políticas,
ideological position,
porque aquí
because here
hemos tenido
we have
vacunas
had vaccines
de pueblos hermanos
of
que las han entregado sin ninguna condicionalidad,
other brothers
como
countries
la
like India.
India, que los primeros en entregarle vacunas a
He
Nicaragua,
was the one who gave the vaccines to Nicaragua,
como las vacunas que estamos
like the vaccine that we are
traer
getting to bring
un intercambio
in
amistoso,
a friendly
fraterno
interchange
de la hermana república de Cuba,
from the
incluso vacunas
re-
para niños,
Republic of Cuba, even for children.
vacunas que
Vaccines
hemos
that
logrado también
we have
en un momento
gotten
difícil
in a
que
very difficult moment,
vengan a través de ese mecanismo que
and we
existe,
hope
donde se
for
colocan fondos de
more to
diferentes
come
países
through this organized
incluyendo de los Estados Unidos de
even
Norteamérica,
from the United States of
incluyendo
America,
de España.
even from Spain.
Y nosotros lógicamente agradecemos
And we logically,
esa cooperación,
we thanks that cooperation.
agradecemos esa
We
cooperación
thanks that cooperation
que viene
that comes from
de países europeos,
European
países
countries,
asiáticos,
Asian countries,
de Estados Unidos, de
from
Canadá,
America,
traen
from Canada also will come
unas vacunas en estos días.
in these days.
Y queremos destacar
I want to stand out
a la Federación Rusa,
the Russian Federation
que desde el primer momento
that since the first moment
nos entregó vacunas y ha seguido enviando vacunas.
has sent this
Y
vaccine
tiene aquí
and
un
continue
centro
sending vaccines, and they have
científico
a scientific center
donde
where
ellos
they
tienen ya planeado
already have planned
fabricar aquí medicamentos
to
y
produce
vacunas para
these
combatir
vaccines
este tipo de
to
virus.
fight this kind of virus.
Igualmente
The same way
de el pueblo de Honduras, del gobierno de Honduras,
from
que
the
nos prestó
Honduran people,
vacunas
which
que inmediatamente
gives us vaccines and immediately
pusieron esta vacuna
were applied these
a las
vaccines
mujeres
to
embarazadas,
pregnant women
porque
because
no se podía poner cualquier vacuna.
women
Las
couldn't
mujeres embarazadas, igual que a los
be
niños.
applied whatever vaccine the
Y
same
hemos
way to
logrado
children,
avanzar mucho en esto
and we have reached a lot
para garantizar
to guarantee
que Nicaragua,
that Nicaragua,
con estos grandes
with these
esfuerzos
big efforts
de todo el sistema de
of the
salud acompañado
whole
del pueblo
health
nicaragüense,
system, accompanied with
acompañado de
Nicaraguan
las
people,
autoridades,
accompanied with authorities,
acompañado de las diferentes instituciones,
accompanied for the different
acompañado de la
institutions,
seguridad
accompanied
que da al
with
país, a
the
la nación,
security of the nation
el ejército,
that
la
gives the
policía.
police, the army of Nicaragua.
Nicaragua logra
That's why
enfrentar
Nicaragua
esta
reach
pandemia
to confront this
de una
pandemic
forma realmente extraordinaria y sorprendente, multiplicando
in
nuevos
an
hospitales,
extraordinary way, multiplying the hospitals, building
construyendo
hospitals,
nuevas escuelas,
building new schools,
construyendo más y nuevas carreteras
building more
hacia
and new
lugares
roads
donde nunca
to
se
places
hubiese
that
imaginado la población que
the
iba a llegar
population
por
never
la carretera.
imagined that a road could reach these
Todo
places.
se ha ido avanzando en medio de estas
Everything that
condiciones.
we have advanced in these conditions,
Y las actividades productivas que no han cesado,
and the production activity
se ha
that
incrementado
have
la producción,
increased.
se ha logrado darle apoyo, darle conocimiento,
It has been
darle
achieved
insumos
to give supplies
a las pequeñas empresas,
to
las medianas
the
empresas,
small
los pequeños
business,
productores, medianos productores, y
big
que eso les permite entonces
producers, small
entrar
producers,
con mayor
and
fortaleza
that way to give
en las
them
actividades
the
productivas
chance
y luego comercializar los productos que
to
demanda el pueblo nicaragüense
make trade
aquí mismo, los
in
consumos
Nicaragua
básicos, y además exportar
and even export.
de estos productos. Eso, hermanos nicaragüenses,
All this
es
Nicaraguan
gracias a la
brothers
paz.
and sisters is
Gracias
thanks
a la paz.
to peace.
De tal manera
This way
que hoy, 7
that
de
today,
noviembre,
November 7,
7 de noviembre,
November 7,
día en que nuestro héroe nacional,
that our national hero,
el comandante Carlos,
Commandant Carlos,
caía en una emboscada
fell in a
allá
combat
en las montañas
there
de
in the
Nicaragua,
mountains, Nicaraguan mountains,
luchando por la paz.
fighting for peace. Today,
En este día
in this day,
estamos realizando estas elecciones
we are celebrating these elections.
Y seguro de que
and sure of
en esta batalla, que es una
in
batalla
this battle that is
histórica,
a historic battle
donde hay que
where
decidir
we have to say
por el terrorismo,
because
confrontación
of
en la
the
guerra o la paz.
confrontation,
Estamos seguros
the
como
terrorism
los
and the peace,
nicaragüenses
and we are
que
sure that
independientemente
independently
del pensamiento
of
político, ideológico,
whatever
religioso de cada quien, tienen
political thought
ahí
we have
diferentes partidos
different parties
donde escoger para colocar su
where
voto.
we can choose and to cast
Y de esa
a
forma
vote. And that way
estamos enterrando la
we
guerra
are
y
burying
dándole vida
the
a
war
la paz.
and giving life to peace. ¿Cuántos minutos se pagan? We have the message of the President of Nicaragua, Daniel Ortega Saavedra. The message that was transmitted for all Nicaraguan citizens. Roberto Salinas extended out that the election taking place today are developing in base of what the Electoral Council and the political constitution of Nicaragua say. As he say, Nicaraguan authorities are elected according to the Constitution and the Electoral Council.
That is correct, and he also mentioned the different electoral process that this country has undergone. A total of 49 electoral process since 1984. Take into account that Nicaragua, as the president said, Nicaragua has two autonomous regions, which have their own electoral process to elect their authorities. Something that the president highlighted that happened in Nicaragua and is not and it doesn't happen in other countries, highlighting as well the processes,
The stability
electoral
of the country, the
processes.
peace, democracy. He said that this is a country that lives many elections, and in fact, in 2022, municipality elections are coming. Each municipality chooses their authorities and their councils, and then he said, in 2023, in March, in the autonomous regions of Nicaragua are going to be held. He also said, and we also see the environment that they were living by the time they visited and cast their vote, accompanied by the Vice President Rosario Murillo.
Yes, as we can
Okay.
see how the president of this showed the document signed and sealed on this document, and the importance that the sign of the president and the first member of this uh, board,
That's right.
which is something important in this voting process, the citizen voting process. As we can see, how the President Ortega goes to the ballot box and
The
exercises
mandatory
his
may
right to
also
vote.
mention that these elections, what it is being demonstrated is that okay, there is liberty to choose to elect authorities, and of course, the citizens have this liberty to go to the voting centers and choose their favorite candidate. And he also mentioned that the topic of the peace, sovereignty, and he said that this is part of Nicaraguan people. Okay, Roberto, we had also before, okay, the environment when Brenda Rocha cast her vote, and Ronnie Navila was there sharing with us that precise moment when Brenda Rocha entered the voting center. Okay, at the same time, other authorities were visiting other voting centers in the capital. Let's see the moment that Brenda Rocha was exercising her right to vote.
We have been here covering the president of the Electoral Council. What do you think about this process? Good morning, Nicaraguan citizens, families, social media. We have exercising, we have participating in this civic process. We have seen since early morning how Nicaraguans have gone to their voting centers, all the voting centers, and all the and some citizens were making lines. We are unseen to finish or to close between 5 or 6. We have participating in the exercise. All the citizens have been participating in the process. Those who love peace, those who love to work, and we have Nicaraguans having the right to their vote. We call families to go to their voting centers. And we have been doing this process in tranquility and peace. And we are going to keep doing this process. Who are the protagonists? The citizens of Nicaragua are the protagonists of this process. And we call them to have the vote. Much tranquility, and I want to thank women and men who are working to those voting centers and recognize their labor, recognizing the prosecutors' labor, and also the media, which is very important to avoid precisely this topic about the pandemic. Thank to the police, to the national police, to the army of Nicaragua, because they are giving us security in all the voting centers.
Well, there we have the declaration of the President Magistrate Brenda Rocha of the Supreme Electoral Council exercising her right to the vote. Different personalities of Nicaragua have gone to the polling station boards and exercise their right to vote. Among them, the Army Chief of Nicaragua, Well, these are the images of the General Julio Cesar Avilés arriving at the polling station boards to exercise his right to voting. This happened in a place located in the capital of Managua. We can see how he's entering the polling station.
And also, we have to stand out that talking about this moment when the general of the army, Julio Avilés, is exercising his vote. Also, in this process, we have to highlight that some army members are also exercising their vote. And they were in an exercise to guarantee the security of Nicaragua. They were also participating in the material. They were translated the material, okay, to each polling station board. They have broadly participated at the same way as a policy where 16,000 people were present in the keeping of this material, in the participation of the members of this electoral system. We also remember that all
which are zones of difficult access in which you have to carry your own water through rivers. In these places it is more necessary for to have the army present so they can carry this material with
as you say, in the Caribbean North, some municipalities and some part of their part, they are communication only through the boats, and it's really difficult to get their polling center.
Yes, remember that there are 3,106 voting centers and 13,459 polling station boards enabled in this country. At this moment, we can see how Julio Cesar Avilés exercises his right to vote and put the ballot inside the ballot box and got the indelible ink.
Very important is the way that some public authorities are participating in this civil festivity. Well, we see part of the process. The general is accompanied by colleagues of the army who reach this voting center to exercise their suffrage. Okay, we have some statements.
Good morning. Well, in first place, we are exercising our right to the vote. It's elections which have been through calm, through peace. Yesterday at night and today in the morning, we have been having communication with all the chiefs. Also, the part that we are taken into consideration is the electoral material that to the far places. Today in the morning, we have reported we don't have anything reported. We have a successful development of the process, and we have been reported that we expect that the situation keeps doing in the same way. we're going to respect, decide according to their vote what candidate they chose during this process. This is to keep contact with all the chiefs of the army. At this time, everything is with normality.
A message to the Nicaraguan families who have uh, gone to the polling station boards.
We came here in family to vote. Also, the army members of Nicaragua have have gone to vote. They went in the morning because of their work of the institution. Some of them were in the morning. Some of them went in the midday, and we're working to for the security and tranquility for the citizens, for the peace for Nicaraguans.
To the
Okay, we had statements of General Julio Cesar Aviles in representation of Nicaraguan Army, exercising his right to vote.
That's correct. But it's not only the presidency and the vice presidents which is been running in these general elections, but also the deputies for the National Assembly of Nicaragua. To know more information about this, our companion Mendy Pravia is going to tell us the number of deputies that are running for the National Assembly and the Parliament.
In these general elections, 90 deputies are also elected by national constituency before the National Assembly, 20 of these nationals and 70 departmental. In the case of the departmental councils, we have the following distribution. Nueva Segovia, 2 deputies, Madrid 2, Esteli 3, Jinotega 3, Matagalpa 6, Chinandega 6, León 3, Managua 19 deputies, Carazo 3 deputies, Masaya 4, Granada 3, Rivas 2, Boaco 2, Chontales 3, Rio San Juan 1, and North Atlantic Autonomous Region 3, and South Atlantic Autonomous Region 2 deputies. This according to the electoral demographics. 20 deputies are also elected to the Central American Parliament. Parlacen is a political institution dedicated to the integration of the Central American countries.
Thank you very much, Mandy, for that information. So we're continue to transmitting. We can see how the Nicaraguan people continue to exercise their right to vote.
And continue also exercising their right to vote, representative of the different powers of the country, and effectively Mayra Salinas exercised his right to the suffrage, and we have prepared exactly the moment when she participated in this election. All the public
The the correspondents of JP are in the voting centers covering the elections 2021. In this moment, we have the magistrate of the Electoral Council who is going to exercise her vote. Let's listen to some words.
You're doing a great labor. I really congrats you for the work you're doing.
We have Magistrate Salinas. She is exercising her right to vote in Managua, where many important people and citizens have voted, and they have been attended by the members of the electoral council in the different places of the voting centers. We have highlighted that there are around 3,100 voting centers for Nicaraguans to exercise the right to vote, the right to choose their authorities over Nicaragua's electoral process, to choose president, vice president, deputies, national deputies, departmental deputies, also the parliament, Central American Parliament, a historical moment. We have the influx of people. The magistrate is arriving right now to their voting center. Where she is Mayra Salinas, the magistrate of the electoral council, doing the procedures to vote in these elections 2021 in Nicaragua. Historical elections we have had or we have been covering these important moments of this electoral process for Nicaraguans. We have seen citizens of many ages, of different ages, and she's been explained how she has to vote. We are on a voting center in the capital, broadcasting this civic process, which Nicaraguans are participants in the whole territory. There have been an influx of people. There have been the presence of a lot of teenagers, disabled people with the correct attention who are and this process that Nicaragua has been developing. In this moment, the ballot is in the ballot box, making the vote. Pictures of the magistrate of the electoral council. Listen to their words. We can listen to her words.
You're doing a great job for the peace, prosperity of Nicaragua. So from part of the Supreme Electoral Council, we really recognize your effort because you are ready and you are. So we give you all the recognition for the job you're doing here. Good morning to everyone. I want to say hello to all the Nicaraguan families that we know that have been attending here the polling station boards, the different voting centers since early in the morning to exercise their right to vote and choose the authorities they want according to their. We know that there is no difficulties. All the voting centers are open. All the voting centers were prepared, and we know that we have a lot of influx of people, and all the polling station board were constituted on time, and this is a civic party. This is an outstanding uh, voting process. We want to congrats to all the families that have been taking part in this process. We want to call to all the different people that are still are taking on different activities to come here and to exercise the right to vote. The health measures are important. We know that there is a package of different measures to take: people distancing, using of masks, and of course we have to take care of each other. We have 232 poll watchers from different countries, from different continents, from American Latina and others. These voting centers are distributed around the country, even in the autonomous regions of the. We also have around 600 international journalists who are covering this electoral process. For us, this celebration for the peace, for the progress, and the advance of the people of Nicaragua.
We can listen to the magistrate of the Electoral Council, Mayra Salinas, and she claims she was doing her right to the vote in this capital center in Managua, one of the 3,106 voting centers where citizens have the right to choose to vote. This is the job that all citizens, all the sanitary measures that citizens have been taken. Also, she has invited citizens for any other reason they haven't assisted, they haven't come to be in the voting centers. And as we can see in this moment, some of them are coming to exercise their right to vote. In many voting centers, we have seen influx of people, citizens, that they want to decide their path of this nation.
Thanks, Rani Davila, for this report. So we saw the moment that the magistrate Maria Salinas cast her vote. She remarked the protocol of biodiversity security taken in this electoral process, and this is something natural. Citizens attend their voting center wearing masks and with keeping all the protocol that must be followed in this process.
That is correct, Angelica. And also, this morning, exercised his right to the vote the director of the National Police, Francisco Diaz. The National Police have taken part of this electoral process with more than 16,000 police officers giving support in this electoral process, watching that all the security measures are followed. And Luis Urbina Alonso tell us more about this in the capital of Nicaragua, Managua. Sorry, Cairo Rocha.
Thank you very much, studio. We have been here again at this moment, and we have Julio Herrera Pomares that at this moment, the commissioner, the director of the National Police, Francisco Diaz. As you know, authorities, public authorities, are not accepted from um, this right to vote. The national police is arriving with the commissioner. 9 polling stations, and they are exercising the right to his vote. And he's to his voting center to look for her polling station, accompanied by police members to go to the process to election. As you can see, he is walking to his correspondent voting center. As many other citizens have been exercising their right to vote, he already knows where he has to vote. We can see the environment. The commissioner is getting in to his voting center 1368. More than 7,000 voters have arrived here to choose their right to vote. We are waiting here for the process. In this moment, as any other citizens, he is going to give his ID. We already know that the vote is kept secret. In this voting center, this voting 006 voting center, we can see that the checking of the ballot you can see that all the members that the electoral council to the citizens to exercise their vote, those who are in the electoral we have to keep the distance, and he is choosing his candidate, and his vote is secret. And this is the environment that the commissioner is exercising and helping or being helped by the members of the electoral council. The commissioner has already the ballot, and at this moment he is putting the ballot into the ballot box. He's keeping his secret vote as any other citizen. Let's go to the another side. It's a very quick procedure. The whole process. We already have the ink on his finger, and
We have voted for the peace, for the sovereignty, for the dignity, the independence, the self-determination. We have voted for the progress, for the prosperity, and for more victories. Our Supreme Boss, Commander Daniel, and companion Rosario Maria are guaranteeing more victories for the future and for the present. All the police, as well as all Nicaraguans, are exercising the right to vote. The voting process is being peace.
what can you say to the population?
Exercise their vote for the independence. These are the declarations of the chief of the National Police of Nicaragua, Francisco Diaz, after exercising his right to vote. We can see there how he's leaving the polling station board. But this electoral process in Nicaragua has 322 poll watchers from different countries as analysts and journalists, national and international journalists actually.
Yes, exactly. In fact, these electoral companions were accredited this Saturday, and lately was shared a complete agenda which is going to be followed during electoral elections. And in fact, during the week, they are going to accompany this process. And by the way, talking about electoral companion, we have a link with one of our correspondents in one of the points. He is Cesar Ruiz, who attended this voting center. These companions are given Okay, go ahead, Cesar. We are starting this process. This is our first step yesterday, and the day after yesterday we were preparing this. We had the chance to know other companions who came to Nicaragua. We got our credentials. We could listen to the presentations of several organizations of the state. which were presenting us the situation of the economy, medicine, in the electoral aspect. And today is the most important date. We are going to visit several voting centers. Various colleagues are also visiting other points. Today is an important day, as I said, and I represent the parliament, the National Assembly of Russia, called Duma Estatal, and I represent one of the cameras of this assembly. My colleagues are also with me, so if you want to ask them some questions, they are with pleasure at your disposal. As my colleague from Hatasia remarked, we are on time. We are going to visit other places. I consider that these elections are being held in complete harmony, freedom. The process is well organized. People are going to cast their votes. I hope these elections will be celebrated in an orderly and transparent way. Nicaraguan people is going to exercise in a free way, okay, their elections. What's your name? Afgan Gabaftin. Coming from Absatia del Sud.
Guys, we are in the voting center Polideportivo España, and we are here with the deputy, with the parliament, with the Russian parliament, and we are going to tell us about the experience of what you have observed during these elections.
I just want to say that the Russian delegation is people with a lot of experience. This delegation is comprised by the representative of deputies, which is one of Camera of the Parliament. The Federation is another Camera of the Parliament, of the Electoral Council of Russia. All of them are people with great experience, and they also participated in other, and they also organized the campaign. They are participating also coming from two parties who are also members of the parties. Okay, the participation in the party also require of their experience. As a deputy, I had the opportunity to participate as an observer in several elections in several countries. And since the moment that I prepare, or we are been preparing all the steps, and we could notice that the electoral process is well thought and well structured.
How would you qualify the security measures by the government, by the health minister?
Ну, во-первых, вы видите, мы сейчас находимся в конкретном помещении, здесь целый ряд избирательных участков и нахождение как столов для проведения, для работы с избирателями, работа наблюдателей, организовано таким образом, чтобы сохранялась социальная дистанция, и таким образом, чтобы предметы дезинфекции и гигиены использовались. И в целом пространство самого помещения позволяет все эти условия соблюсти.
You can see that we are here in this sporting complex, and the space which is destined for the polling station boarding is enough, is very broad, very big place, and it permits to keep the social distancing for voters, and they permit to locate exactly where their roles are. Everything has been well organized. The hygiene is well organized.
Механизм выборов обеспечен таким образом, что я думаю, что у жителей Манагуа, как и других мест Никарагуа, нет никаких опасений за свое здоровье. Все могут спокойно приходить, голосовать. И я уверен, что традиционно высокая для Никарагуа явка будет соблюдена, подкреплена и явкой на этих выборах.
The election mechanism is well adjusted in a way that Managuan voters, okay, could not have any fear to come and vote because their safety is guaranteed with respect COVID-19, and we hope that in this election will happen that, like in other. Have you? Okay. Don't forget to vote.
Thank you very much.
Teníamos palabras de parte del diputado representante del Parlamento ruso, compañeros. Vamos a seguir ampliando con más.
We are going to amplify the information during this environment, and all the members, all the poll watchers. Let's go to the studio.
Thank you, Cesar Ruiz, with this report from a Russian delegation who are accompanied this electoral process, which is held in the Central American country. And according to these statements of this delegation, they mention to respect, or their respect for the protocol of safety of. We have to highlight the unique electoral ballot.
Yeah, the electoral ballot, it is a fundamental part of this electoral process. It is compound of 6 boxes. It has the candidates running for the presidency and vice presidency. And it's identified, each box is identified with the flag of the corresponding party. It also includes the boxes for the deputies, for the election of deputies, national deputies, and departmental deputies. And the last one is for the deputies for the Central American Parliament. And everything is well identified with the flags and
other details essential that this ballot shows is related to the safety measures of authenticity that corroborate the participation, which guarantee the peace among all the parties participating in this process. The official ballot was emitted and presented to all the parties participating in this electoral process, okay, which has been really important. The participation, all of the formula participating in this process.
yes, that is correct. And each one of the process that have that was developed according to the electoral calendar were approved and had the participation of all the alliances and political parties alliances. According to the law, the political parties they have to be they need to have at least 1 year of. It's not that each box has a political party. It's also an alliance of many political parties.
All of that you mentioned form part of the electoral calendar emitted by the Electoral Council in May 2015. Okay, we have more information in another point, in another voting center here in Managua. Karina Cruz is sharing with us, okay, how this process is being developed.
Well, good morning. We are in this journey of the general elections 2021 in Nicaragua. We have been here during the morning, going through the voting centers, and we have the influx of people who have been here participating to vote. To choose the president, the vice president, to be in the presidency for the next 5 years. We have in District 1 in Managua. How did you see the influx of people here in Managua in these general elections?
Well, since 7 in the morning that we opened the voting center, people are coming and coming and coming. All the influx of people have been consistent. Actually, in this voting center, we have 11 polling station boards. Are more than 4,000 people that are going to come here to exercise the right to vote.
Regarding the sanitary measures, did you see that the people are taking these measures into account?
Yes. Well, actually, the mask, we can see, we can say that around 100% of people coming are wearing their mask. Even when they have to enter to the polling station boards, they have hand sanitizers for them. So we follow all the health measures.
Well, same here. Who are participating? They are with the measures.
Yes, actually, we all are wearing our mask. We have hand sanitizer there, and we're carrying one little box of alcohol because we have to protect ourselves.
I would like that you would tell about this technique that we can see the technology. Would you explain us what is the function that you have applied to avoid a crowd?
Precisely and according to the law, and actually there is electoral roll as the law demanded. But aside of that, and following the health measures, we have installed this electronic kiosk. So these companions, when the people come, they make more efficient the process. So they verify first the information, and then they tell to the people where is the polling station where they have to exercise the right to vote. And actually, when the influx of people, everything is going
Everything's
in
order.
an orderly way.
So till the moment we have everything's
Everything's
in
been in
peace.
peace, tranquility. Since we were prepared, everything was
And
well
what
executed.
time are you going to stop to attend people?
If at 5 p.m. we still have people here, we're gonna close this voting center until we attend the last person.
So we already had information of this coordinator of this voting center. Remember that the voting centers are 3,106 that are open in the national in the country to for citizens to exercise their right to the vote. So let's go back to the studio and thank you for sharing with us. We're going to be here until the afternoon to share with you minute by minute with these elections 2021 here in Nicaragua 2021.
Thank you very much, Karina, for that information. We can see, Angelica, how the technological measures have been implemented to make more efficient this process in Nicaragua. But we can talk more not only about technology but people and how everything is being carried out to make this electoral process.
How is this contingent structure?
Electoral roll. It is compounded by more than 175 prosecutors proposed by the political parties and who are going to be located in different voting centers to make sure that the electoral process is going in a correct way. And there are also 7,700 attorneys, electoral attorneys, and there are also 30,000 electoral police. And in total, we have 80,754 members of the polling station boards with the proprietaries and alternates. 40,377 women and men, according to the law, where they are accomplishing.
So more than 280,000 people are participating in function of these elections, and we see that each of these persons have their assignations that were not get to know by the electoral council. They are well trained, updated in the technology topic. One of the main points is that Nicaragua is entering this technological wave.
Yes, and Nicaragua also had and has very good records on this electoral process. But to have more information about this electoral process, Mendy Pravia is going to tell us more information about this. Go ahead, Mendy.
The last general elections in Nicaragua were held on November 6, 2016. 2.5 million voters participated, a figure that represented 68.2% of citizens' participation. Daniel Ortega and Rosario Murillo were elected as president and vice president respectively. The Sandinista Front also obtained 71 of the 90 deputies of the National Assembly and 15 of the 20 deputies to the Central American Parliament. Know more about the last elections in the following link. The general elections are held every 5 years. The last three elections were in 2006, 2017, 2016. In 2006, 5 candidates were presented as choose for president, with more than 2.1 million of people. During that election, more than 2.5 million of people were participating during this electoral process. In 2016, almost 2.5 million were participating in this electoral process. 6 candidates to the presidency were presented as a result of this electoral process, were elected in the National Assembly.
Well, we had part of the information and the importance of this. We have information at the right moment. The Secretary of the Mayorship of Managua, Fidel Moreno, is coming to vote. There we have a complete team to give you more information about this moment when Fidel Moreno is exercising.
That is correct. We can see how he's entering the voting center with carrying his ID on his hand. Remember that in this electoral contest in Nicaragua 2021, there are 4.4 million people called to exercise their right to vote. And from that 4.4 million of people, only 36 people are going to vote using a supplementary document, which is not
Okay,
correct.
let's listen to part of the environment that they are living in this moment. Go ahead.
boleta y luego procediendo a la urna, ¿verdad? De secreto va a firmar, va a marcar las opciones y las casillas de su preferencia.
We have seen the president of the electoral process is explaining the Fidel Moreno how to vote and how to participate in these elections. This is a highlighted moment in which important people have taken.
Good afternoon, companions. We are celebrating our civic party, and we can see all the influx of people in different voting centers in the country. It is important to highlight the democracy, to strengthen the democracy in the country, so we can develop the progress in the country, as was mentioned by the president. The vote strengthened that actually we don't have to split more blood in the street. Actually, the vote for strengthen the health, uh, education. I have to congrats the Nicaraguan country that have come to cast their vote. And it's still more than 3 hours for the people to come and exercise the right to vote. Remember, it's our responsibility, and we have seen very good influx of people coming to the voting centers. All the voting centers are well organized, and how the different members of the polling stations are treating people coming to vote in a very polite way and in an efficient process. The, this electoral process, it's been a success, and we are waiting that in the next 3 hours more Nicaraguans come to the different voting centers, and as well to wait for the results at night. A result that strengthen the peace and the progress, which is the most important thing that we have as Nicaraguan. Well, actually, in we have seen many young people and old people coming to vote. At the same time, we have seen the process of different prosecutors who are really young people and given the advices about how to effectuate the process. Different members of the polling station votes are the different ages, and as well the equity of gender, in which we have 50 and 50. And I have seen different poll watchers, more than 332 poll watchers, more than 600 journalists from international and national journalists. And something to highlight is the participation of the young people in this electoral process. Well, this unique ballot make more efficient the process and facilitate the exercise of vote. And we're checking which was the better hour to come, but in the morning was full of people. And as it was mentioned by the different members of the polling stations, you can elect in the box any of your choosing or your election according to your own thoughts.
In this process, what do you think about the poll watchers?
I have seen in this center that they have an electronics kiosk in which just a couple of seconds to tell you in which polling station where you are going to vote, which make the process faster and more efficient. That's something to help to avoid a crowd of people. And something else to mention is the poll watchers is also a process according to the law in which we have to have sovereign elections in which we consolidate our independence, and as well we have poll watchers who are with us following the different electoral process in this country and in our country.
What do you think about the experience that these people have been having in the country and to their nearest voting center?
We have in these electoral models the 3,106 voting centers distributed in different places of the country. So people will have in the city like in Managua access to these centers in a radius of 1 kilometer of 2 kilometers maximum. So people can come, and in the rural part among 5 and 10 kilometers. And we as Nicaraguan believes in the vote, and we believe in the democracy, and that's why we are here inviting others to come to vote.
Moreno, el secretario general de la alcaldía de Managua, que en este momento acaba de finalizar de ejercer su derecho al voto y que lo ha hecho en este.
Well, there we had the moment when Fidel Moreno, the secretary of the mayorship, exercised his right to vote. As Roberto Salinas explained, the experience that he has had as a member of electoral processes. He say also about the accompaniment, the amount of countries.
Yes, and definitely the process has shown us an efficiency in which we have see people coming to the different voting centers following the different protocols as the sanitary protocol and the other one which involve the members of the different polling station boards about how to mark the ballot and how to fold the ballot.
We have seen this interaction among the members of the board and the citizens. And by the way, talking about all this process, talking about all the people on charge of this electoral contest, there are 4.4 million of citizens.
The elections in Nicaragua are advancing at a good pace. Of the 6.6 million inhabitants of the country, 4.4 million citizens are eligible to vote and elect the new authorities. The Supreme Electoral Council of Nicaragua has set up 3,106 voting centers with 13,459 vote-receiving boards, which from early on are receiving the votes of Nicaraguans.
Thank you very much, Mandy, for that information. And now we're gonna learn how the electoral process is being developed in the interior of the country. So we go to Chinandega with our correspondent Carmen Melendez, who is going to tell us more information about this process in that department. Go ahead, Carmen. We'll listen to you.
Well, we're going to try to communicate with Carla ahead we have been covering all this process all day long, and also be pending, because later we are going to have more information minute by minute and give when the first preliminary inform is given. Remember to link us with www.jp plus.
We keep transmitting, we keep broadcasting here in Chinandega in the center, in the voting center number 10, where many journalists from 27 countries, Venezuelans, United Kingdom, also there are many electoral poll watchers. My name is Benjamin Northorn.
My name is Benjamin Norton. I'm a journalist, and I want to mention that there are many media that are saying that there is no free elections in Nicaragua. But as you can see in here, the process is a really calm process. It's normal. It's very democratic process. That's why I'm here to remember. Well, actually, to show the truth. Well, in my country, the United States, everything is said about Nicaragua or Venezuela is different, and we have to talk about the different propaganda media.
What do you think about Nicaraguans?
Well, the Nicaraguan people is very nice. It's gentle. They have been gentle with me. Well, the country as well is really nice. I really love the spirit of the Nicaraguan people who are always fighting for their rights and who doesn't want any. Thank you very much, Carmen, for that information from Chinandega. And now we go to the north of Nicaragua, to the Madrid department in the city of Somoto, where Herman Alfaro will tell us how these elections are going on Madrid.
We continue with this broadcasting of 2021 elections in Nicaragua, and there are many journalists around the country covering these elections. We are in the municipality of La Sabana in Madrid, where the process is being in tranquility. We're going to share with you some images of the citizens who are arriving to exercise the right to vote in the different ballot boxes to exercise the right to vote. And she's a coordinator.
Good morning, my name is Francis Areli Castellon Velasquez. I'm coordinator of this voting center.
How many voting centers are being opened in the center?
In this voting center, we have 6 polling stations, which are for 5 communities and 6 neighborhoods of this municipality. Everything is calm, everything is going fine. People are coming in an orderly way.
We see that there are a lot of police to.
Yes, that is correct. Since yesterday, that we all night, all day, we have been with the police in here, electoral police as well.
There's something important. Also, sanitary measures have been taken into account, and the people have been arriving with that.
That is correct. Everyone is taking into account all the measures with the distancing, and during the meals as well, we are taking this measure into account.
Are there a lot of teams to prioritize also disabled people?
Yes, we have pregnant women, older people, adolescents, and everybody.
Well, this is happening in calm because you are going to be here until the last person arrives.
That is correct. We're going to close until the last person votes, and according to many people are still to come.
What can you tell to the population to eject this right?
Yes, I'm calling everybody to come this municipality to the different polling station votes, and we have this electronic kiosk to make more efficient this process. It's faster. Actually, they don't have to look themselves on the electoral roll. They just come here and we'll look them in the system and we
Thank you
can
very much,
direct them.
and thank you who those two who are informing JP Mas, who are informing from Madrid in the municipality of La Sabana, one of the fresh places in our country.
Thank you for that report since Madrid, okay, from Madrid. And we continue transmitting this from Madrid. We go directly to Mulucucu, where Darian Centeno is, and he's going to share with us all the environment at this time.
Thank you, fellows from JP. We are in Mulucucu, 73 kilometers from Ciuna, where we are here. We are located in 13 voting polling stations, in which centers are around 5,400 people. We are in the paradise of youth, and we are here to discuss with the coordinator of the center about the process advancement of this electoral process. So what are the security measures?
Morning, folks. We are following all the security measures as it was ordered by the health ministry. People are coming in an orderly way, in peace, as it's correspond. We are really happy because people are coming to exercise their right to vote.
Can you invite those people who haven't participated to vote, because this is to live in peace and freedom?
Well, I call all the population to come and exercise the right to vote as it corresponds. So in that way, we continue to develop free elections in Nicaragua.
Tell us about the experience that you have had in these polling stations.
Good morning. We have come in a very calm way. People are coming, are entering. They are very responsible. Well, the members of the polling station is giving orientation. We came in very easily.
You are taking the sanitary measures by
Yes.
the health minister.
Yes, of course. Okay, all the orientation from the health ministry are being taken
Thank you
in
very
account.
much. What's your name and where are you from?
Jairo Valle from Olucucu.
So we listened to one of the inhabitants in here, one of the citizens who was participating in the process, in the electoral process, and he was attended with quality. So from Molukuku, we go back to the studio.
Thank you very much for that information, Paola, from Mulukuku. And now we go to the South Caribbean coast, where our correspondent will tell us more about the process in this place.
Hello, fellows from JP Mans. At the moment, this is the environment that Edwin Baltodano polling station in Cucra River, a community which is 45 kilometers from this southwest of the Caribbean coast. This place has 12 voting stations, and also has a computer center where citizens come from near neighborhoods, and they only present their ID, and the people who are on the table, they are explaining to the citizens where to vote. This is the environment at the moment. As you can see, some of them arrive in family with their children or with their parents. Also, with the security measures and the sanitary measures, with their respective masks, their sanitizers. Um, this is to take into account sanitary measures, also the security measures with the presence of national police. At the moment, we are here in the community with the electoral process is developing in normality, in peace, and this is just at the moment. So we go back to the studio.
Thank you for that report. And from Rivas, Lulia Daniel Rivas informed us about how this electoral election is being held.
We continue with this transmission from the JP platform. So I am here in one voting station 001 to from Santo Domingo de Guzman. The mayor of Rivas has participated in the process of voting. These are some pictures that we can appreciate where the mayor of Rivas has voted and he has decided his preferred candidate. So we can see that he finished the process.
Me as a citizen of Nicaragua, I'm participating in this civic party. Happy because we are contributing to our country, electing our deputies, national deputies, and the deputies for the Central American Parliament. I believe that Nicaragua have the right to choose the government, and we have seen the influx of people in the different voting centers with tranquility, in peace, with security, with police protection. Everything's been normal, and taking into account as well the health measures.
These are some words from the mayor of Rivas, Jose Alfredo Lopez Hernandez. And we are going to share more about this process. Let's go back to the studio.
And now we go to Matagalpa in the north of Nicaragua, where our correspondent Carolina Silva will tell us more about how this electoral exercise it's been developed in this part of the country.
We continue with this broadcast of the 2021 elections in Nicaragua, and we are in polling station in El Progreso Voting Center in Matagalpa. This voting station has 15. We could see the mayor, and she took the sanitary measures with the use of the masks, and also to the members of the polling station and the citizens. And also, we have a citizen that she has participated in
What's your name?
the right to vote.
Silvia Carolina Rugama.
What could be the process? How can you describe it?
Quickly, very agile, and always taking the precaution
How
measures.
did you feel? How did you feel the environment?
Super calm. I invite personally people to come and
This is
exercise.
the first time that you vote, or you have experience?
Three times that I have exercised my vote.
So thank you very much for sharing your comment, your experience. So we go back to JP Studios.
Thank you for that information from that point of Nicaragua. And we continue giving you more information. A lot and big team are being responsible for this transmission and are giving us all the information. I remind you to follow our transmission and
That is correct.
GP Plus.
And remember that this process will continue until around 7 p.m. Well, until the last person votes. And we are going to continue to giving you
We
more
be
information.
depending of our transmission that at any time we come back to inform you and to give details of these general elections Nicaragua 2021.